Hi everyone. I hope your day is going well and I hope that you're having a good day at work if you're at work or you're having a good day at home. So I was just a little bit, I wouldn't say bored, but I had some time on my side and I decided that I wanted to chit chat with you guys again and answer some frequently asked questions that I see on some of my recipe videos. So this is just going to be random questions from these are just going to be questions from random videos, so it's in no particular order. I'm just going to pick at least like 5 to 10 depending on how the time is for us today. And if we don't get to finish, or if your question is not answered with this episode, don't worry, I'll get to that in future. But before I go on, let me give a shout out to Fasia Abubakar. Hi, girl, or hi, boy. I don't know if you're a girl or a boy. I'm glad you found this channel back and you're welcome back. And I've missed you, and I hope you've not missed a lot on my channel. But there's some catching up for you to do if you've done that. Thank God for YouTube. You can always go back and watch videos that you missed. I just wanted to throw that out there and give you a shout out. So let's get into the question properly. The first question I'm going to be addressing is, people tend to ask me in the comment section, where are the measurements? Why not showing the measurement? This, I need the measurements. If you've been consistent on my channel, or even if you've been consistent but you've missed it, I usually say that I will leave all the full ingredient list in the description section. So if you're using your phone, all you need to do is scroll down on your or underneath the video itself where you have the title of the video. You have to scroll down, and when you scroll down, you go below and then you will see some information. Usually I had some any vital information that I think that you should know about that particular recipe is usually in that description section. So we've gotten that out of the way, and I hope you're able to navigate my channel better next time. So the ingredients are there. Don't worry, you have the ingredient guide for you to nail any recipe that you see on my channel in that description section. The second question that I got and I think I needed to address is as related to my jollof rice. Somebody asked, Marianne Eyanetu said, sorry if I'm murdering the name. Please, must it be baked in the oven? Now, jollof rice traditionally is not baked in the oven. It's actually made on the stove top. Oh, what am I saying? No, scratch that. It's actually made on an outside firewood, burner. That firewood burner gives it that smoky taste to it that you typically see in a party jollof rice. And so people kind of try to cheat around it and find ways that you can make that and have that recipe in your house. So, simply put, the answer to your question is that no, you do not have to bake it in an oven. However, let me tell you why I prefer to bake mine in the oven. I prefer to bake mine in an oven because it kind of limits that burnt underpot that usually comes with jollof rice. Now, some people like it because definitely when something is burnt, it produces its own smoke. That smoke flavors that meal. But I really don't want to go through that hassle of having to clean my pot afterwards. So what I just do is that I just, and the rice is sweet the way it is. So if I want to do a special occasion, probably I can just use the stove top and allow it to burn. But again, I am having an idea come to mind, but I'll have to experiment that. It's been coming to my mind since on Monday, but I'll have to experiment that to see if it actually works. But so that's why I use my oven to make mine. And I just dump it in the oven, time it for like 30 to 45 minutes. My rice is done. I come, turn it around, and I have jollof rice. So that's why I use my oven for it. But if you're so like, I don't want to use my oven, I want to use the regular stove top, I have a video on my channel as well that addresses that you can make the jollof rice on your stove top. I hope that answers that question. So let's move on to the other question that I got and I needed to address. Ogechi Obiako said, what if I don't want to soak my beans with salt for that long? Will it turn out nice or as sweet as yours? Now, yeah, let me address why I soak my beans. When you soak your beans, you are one, giving that beans a head start, thereby softening it and preventing or minimizing the amount of work your blender or food processor is going to do. So every of the dry bean seed is plump and ready for you to blend away. In that way as well, the advantage to it is that it will help you avoid that, that urge to add more water to your beans when you're blending. So it helps you to get the thick paste I was referring to in my akara video, because akara does not need you to add too much water. If you add too much water, then you're going to miss the whole idea of what you're trying to achieve. So those are the two main reasons why I soak my beans. Now, the salt, of course, is for it to help it flavor the beans, and avoid that osmosis or diffusion or any scientific term you choose to use that would occur if you just put the beans in the water and then the water just soaks out the beans flavor. So the salt will kind of give like a balanced environment for the beans to rise without it leaching out its nutrients. So that is why I soak my beans. Now, to your question, will it be nice or as sweet as mine? Of course, it will be sweet. Now, will you get the same thing as much as that I got? Girl, I can't answer that question straight on. But your akara will still turn out nice. But again, soaking minimum of 3 hours is okay for you to soak your beans and get it blended. So just try and invest your time to that and enjoy your akara. Then another question I have is from Oluchi Okafo in regards to my Nigerian buns. Please, I want to ask a question. First, you don't need to say please when you're asking a question on my channel. I love questions. I thrive on them. I love to read people's questions because when I answer those questions, I teach myself as well. And so there are sometimes you ask me a question, I don't have an answer at that time. I have to do my own research to kind of answer you. So please ask me questions. I want to answer those questions. I want to see what is in your mind. And no question is too stupid. No question is too simple. Just ask the question. Ask what you want to ask, and I'll try to answer your question for it. So let's get to our question. So she said, please, I want to ask a question. When making buns, must I use butter? Now, Nigerian buns is pastry. And for pastries, you need your flour, you need a form of fat, which can be butter, which can be margarine, which can be shortening, which can be lard. You need that, and then you need water. So for Nigerian buns, I like to use butter because it adds an extra flavor when compared to just margarine or shortening or lard. It adds that extra flavor. And someone had asked me as well in the past that can I use liquid fat? That is, ororo, that we call it in Nigeria, or vegetable oil or canola oil. I've personally not used it for my own Nigerian buns before, but like I always say, you can always try something out that comes to your mind. If it doesn't work out, okay, it doesn't work out. And you can actually work out and you will be like, okay, it worked out finally. So try it out and see if it works for you. But I know that when you use liquid fat in your pastry, an advantage to it is that it makes your pastry more moist and soft, but I really didn't want to go to the moist and soft one. I just wanted Nigerian butter, which is usually dense. It's not like it's hard as a rock, but it's dense. And so that butter for me, because of that flavor it has, I prefer to use butter for my Nigerian buns. But again, you can try whatever works for you. Try it and see which one you prefer. You might actually prefer the vegetable oil or margarine or shortening or lard. You might prefer that to using butter. Another question is, now, I need to answer this question because this question will help so many other people that is on my channel. Abisco. I want to think that is a Billy. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. She said, I made the meat pie, but mine did not come out good. I guess it's my fault. I was a little bit confused with the measurement. I saw in the video that you used only 2 cups of the US measuring cup with 4 sticks of brunette butter, and that was what I used, but it was too soft and did not come out good. Do I have to use 6 cups of the standard US cup instead of 2 cups? Now, first, when you see me measuring out something in the video, and probably you see me measure out maybe a cup or 2 cups, or I added 1 spoon or 1 tablespoon of salt or something like that, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's the only measurement that I used, because it would be kind of repetitive for me to keep showing you how I measure like 4 to 6 cups of flour. So once I just measure 2 times, I believe you have the idea. So that is why it is important for you to go down to that description section and check out that full ingredients guide, because it's good. I try as much as far as possible to give you a guide that will assist you to make your recipe the first time, and then from there you can decide to freestyle, add your own effigy, add your own style to that ingredient. So to this question, my ingredient guide said 6 cups and not 2 cups as you saw on the video. So try to, as much as, again, repeating myself, look through your description section and see what I used there. Try to follow them to the T, at least if you're trying any recipe the first time. And another thing I would like to address here is that the best way for you to measure out things when you're either baking or doing any form of pastry is for you to use weighing scale. That kind of gives you a more accurate measurement, because if I say a cup and I show you how to use a cup, because it requires a little bit of skill. For instance, you have to fluff your flour before you measure, and if I fluffed my flour before I measured and you did not fluff your own flour before measuring, we are going to get 2 different measurements. It's not going to be the same, no matter how it is that we did the same method of scraping the top of the cup away and pouring out the ingredients. So the best way for you to measure out any of your ingredients, if you're baking or following any pastry recipe, is for you to use your weighing scale. And when you're using your weighing scale, you use it in maybe 8 grams or in pound, depending on what that person used. Now, for this particular recipe, I did not add the volume. I only added it in cups, which is my bad. So I'm going to go back and edit that video, edit that description section site, and add in the equivalent in volume of those measurements that I added there. So that will help you out in measuring. So try to use your weighing scale to measure out your ingredients when you are making any pastry or baking. All right, so Ebisco, I hope I answered that question. So get to work. The next question is, now I love this question, let me read it out. It says, Uzilla, Man, I'm bad with pronunciation and with name, if you've obviously noticed. But she said, I really enjoyed watching you make this stew. Exactly what I have been looking for. This can be eaten with plain okra soup or rice, right? Was that attaché you used? I don't seem to find that in here. Only bell pepper. And it sweetens the stew, which I don't really like. Do you have a trick in finding attaché? LOL, in brackets. I feel as though this is a dumb question. It's not a dumb question. Just found your channel and I'm going to support you. Hope we become friends. Now, definitely Obiata. If you've not seen that video, I'll be leaving a link in the description. All the videos that had questions to them today, I'm going to be leaving the links to those videos in the description section, so that in case you've not seen that video, you go back to that video and watch it. So our question is, can I use this with plain okra soup or rice? Yes, or better, you can use it with your rice, or you can make, okra or okra and then add it to the obiata and use it for your swallow, which is what I tend to use in my house. I really don't use mine with the rice, but I use it with swallow. So I just add plain okra or okra. If you want to see how to make that, let me know in the comment section and I'll get to work and try to help you out and make a video on that. So yes, you can use that. As for tatashe versus bell pepper, I have never seen tatashe in this part of country before. I have never seen it. So what I use is bell pepper. The only trick I use to try to reduce that sweetness that comes with red pepper is that I mix it with either green bell pepper or tomatoes. So I just mix it. Of course, if I want it more sweet, I add more red bell pepper and a little bit of green bell pepper and tomatoes, and if I want them like really balanced, I just add like kind of an equal portion of these two. So you just have to work around the quantity that works for you and the sweetness level that you want. So that is what I do. I've never seen tatashe, to be honest. The only way I've had tatashe in my hand was that it was in a dried form, and then when it was sent to me by my mom, I hydrated it, and that was how I had tatashe in my house. If not, I've never seen tatashe sold there, period. So yes, that is my trick to using that red bell pepper. If you have a problem with the sweetness, which is true, when you make stew with just red bell pepper, it has this sweetness to it. It's too sweet for me as well, so I have to kind of balance it. But in this obiata, I used more of tomato. Well, I wouldn't say more of. I think I balanced the tomato and the red bell pepper, so it's kind of balanced. So it's not like sweet. It's just right there. So I hope that answers that questions as well. Now, I have some other questions that I can address, but is it that I'm going to make this a 2-part and put it in the next part? So I'm going to log out from this first part, and if you feel that you gained a lot from this section, please support me by hitting that like button, subscribe to my channel if you have not, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend that there's something going on this channel. So until next time, when I see you again, bye.